a child born under the sign of Cancer, within a family known for its deep spiritual connection, was expected to inherit and embrace this sacred gift. But from a young age, he turned away, uninterested in the rituals and practices that defined his lineage. His mother, a devoted believer in the spiritual path, often prayed for her son's awakening. But the boy, now growing into adolescence, rejected everything his family stood for. He was logical, grounded in the material world, and saw spirituality as mere superstition. One day, a mysterious old woman, her eyes clouded with visions of the future, approached his mother. "Your boy," she whispered, "he carries the weight of something dark. If he continues to mock the divine, the darkness will claim him. And when it does, it will consume everything he loves." The boy's mother was terrified. She pleaded with him to reconsider, to accept the spiritual guidance that was his birthright, but he laughed it off. "There's no such thing as devils or dark forces, Mom," he said dismissively. Years passed, and the boy grew into a young man, his heart filled with ambition, but devoid of spiritual understanding. He became successful in worldly terms, but remained oblivious to the spiritual void he was creating. And then the shadows began to stir. It started with small things, whispers in the night, a chilling breeze that seemed to follow him. He shrugged them off, convincing himself they were nothing more than his imagination. But the darkness was patient, and it grew stronger with each passing day. His family, each member born under different zodiac signs, began to feel the weight of the darkness. His father, a Leo, known for his strength, started to feel weak, his energy sapped by an unseen force. His younger sister, a Virgo, meticulous and careful, found her life unraveling, her mind tormented by nightmares that she couldn't explain. And his mother, the Scorpio, always in tune with the spiritual world, sensed the presence of something malevolent. The first death came without warning. His father, once a pillar of the family, was found lifeless in his study, his face twisted in agony. The doctors couldn't explain it, a heart attack, they said, but his mother knew better. She begged her son to listen, to turn back to the spiritual path before it was too late. But he was too far gone, too convinced of his own righteousness to heed her warnings. Then the attacks escalated. The night his sister died, the house was filled with a bone-chilling cold. She screamed for help, her voice echoing through the walls. But when the boy reached her, it was too late. Her body was twisted unnaturally, her eyes wide open, staring into the abyss. The boy's heart began to crack, but still he refused to believe. His mother, now broken with grief, knew her time was near. She spent her final days in prayer, hoping that her son would find his way before the darkness consumed him entirely. The night she died, the boy awoke to find her room filled with shadows, a black, swirling mass that seemed to pulse with malevolence. He tried to reach her, but the darkness was too strong. And as he watched the life drain from her eyes, now alone, the boy finally began to understand the truth. The black devils had been real all along, a manifestation of the darkness he had allowed to grow by denying his spiritual heritage. His family, each aligned with the cosmos, had been targeted one by one, their zodiac signs marking them as part of the divine order that he had disrupted. Realization hit him like a thunderbolt. He had been a fool, blinded by his arrogance. The spiritual power he had mocked was the very thing that could have protected his loved ones. But now they were gone, and he was left to face the consequences of his actions. Determined to make amends, he sought out the old woman who had warned his mother all those years ago. She looked at him with pity in her eyes but handed him a talisman, a symbol of protection and spiritual power. "It's not too late," she said, "but you must embrace the light, or the darkness will take you as well." The boy, now a man, spent the next years of his life delving into the spiritual practices he had once scorned. He learned to harness the power within him, to protect himself from the shadows that still lingered. The black devils no longer haunted his dreams, but their presence was always near, a reminder of what he had lost. He became a protector of others, using his newfound power to shield them from the darkness that had claimed his family. But the pain of his past never left him. Every night he lit a candle for his father, his sister, and his mother, whispering prayers of forgiveness into the night. In the end, he realized that the spiritual world was not something to be mocked or ignored. It was a force that connected all things, light and dark, life and death. And while he had been too late to save his family, he vowed never to let the darkness take another soul.